This is Presby Talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fifi, and this is Presby Talk. Again, we want to thank you guys very much for the love and support. Today, we'll be talking about long distance relationship as a Christian. The question is long distance relationship for the weak? We have two individuals with us today who've definitely been involved or who have definitely accomplished the long distance relationship, and we're having a conversation with them. So without speaking too much, I'll let them introduce themselves. Welcome once again, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Prince Ano Entry.
My name is Gertrude Shen.
Wow, thank you guys very much for coming on this platform, Presby Talk. I welcome you guys.
Thank you.
Before we definitely begin, how are you guys doing? How's your day going? How's everything?
Everything is fine by God's grace.
Nice.
We are hanging in.
Definitely.
By God's grace, we are moving on.
We move, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So we want to ask you guys long distance relationship. Are you guys currently in a long distance relationship? Have you guys been involved in a long distance relationship? Let us know about it.
Yes, I'm currently in a long distance marriage. It started with a relationship and then we now married, happily married. So yes, I'm in a long distance marriage.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On yours. Rappers?
That's very interesting. I was in long distance relationship. I got married at the same distance, but for me, by God's grace, I have my wife with me now,
That's right.
so I can talk about the past,
Wow.
about long distance relationship.
Wow. Perfect. As I said, they were in a long distance relationship. It's led to marriage. So congratulations to you both.
Thank
I'll start with you, Gertrude. It's long distance relationship for the week.
Long distance relationship itself as a topic is not for the weak. You have to be ready, spiritual, physical minded before you enter into a relationship because it's something that comes with two different people, irrespective of how long the distance is. Two individuals coming together to be in a relationship. So, putting aside the long distance itself, being in a relationship, you have to really be prepared for it. It's not easy to be in a relationship with somebody. So, in our case, ours is a long distance relationship whereby both myself and my husband don't live in the same country. So, it's not for the weak. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that it is easy. No. It has its own advantages and its own disadvantages. There are good moments, there are bad moments. So it is not for the weak.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And we'll definitely talk about the good moments and we'll talk about the bad moments.
Sure.
Like the pros and the cons.
Sure.
Rappers, remember I swear.
My brother, thank you very much. As my sister has already said, it's very true. It's not for the weak. First of all, without the distance attached to relationship itself is not for the weak. I must confess to you about that because it is two individuals brought up from different background coming together to share common platform, and each one of the two is coming with, different character and whatsoever you can think of in a relationship. So that alone is not easy, let alone to bring in distance. When distance comes in, it makes it more difficult to deal with it. Why am I saying this? Because if your partner is with you, there are certain things you can just walk to him or her and ask. You get direct answers. But distance relationship, it's all about phone call. We are very fortunate of our time that video calls are common now. I can imagine our fathers,
Back in the day.
back in the days, our fathers, when you have to record your voice, mail it, they play it back home, hear what you are saying, and they reply you. I don't think if our time were to be their time, some of us would have engaged in distance relationship. So, in short, it is not for the weak. It's for the strong-minded person, someone who has determined to go through the difficulties of it.
Once you're talking about it, I remember when I was in Ghana, right? You're talking about since we have social media and we have phones and stuff like that. I was thinking about my mom used to call at the telecommunications center, and then they would come and call us, and then we go and oh man, just imagine the time difference, right? So it's amazing how social media has changed, and we are actually benefiting from it right now, and it's definitely benefiting you guys being in a long distance relationship. Um, if you guys can share, how did you guys deal with certain situations, right? Bringing up a situation and how you guys overcame it. I'll start with you, Gertrude. Can you give us an example of one situation that when you were in a long distance relationship, you guys had to deal with, right? It had to be with an argument, something that triggered an argument, and then how did you guys overcome it?
Okay, with this, actually, this was my second long distance relationship.
Right.
So, with the first one, which I don't want to really go too much into it, it was more of trust issues. But I want to use this opportunity to tell my husband, thank him very much because I'm a very difficult person.
Oh, yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's
Thank you, Mr. Ishan. I'm a very difficult person to handle, especially when it comes to relationship, because there are certain things that you really need to explain to me. Let me understand it well. I don't want a partial explanation, no. So if you're dealing with me, I'm the kind you have to really explain everything very into details before I can.
Why?
Why should I do this? So if you don't have the time and the patience to rather deal with me in that way, you can't be with me. And that was one of the problems when we began, we were facing, but thank God he actually got to know who I am. And then he actually switched as soon as possible. And then it really helped us. And then one thing is, you both need to learn to trust each other. It's a distant relationship. I'm sitting here. I don't know what he's doing now. I know what he's doing because we are married, we've communicated on it. But when we're in a relationship, he can do other stuffs without my knowledge. So the next minute we talk, we go back, what did you do today? I did this, I did that, I did that. Learn to trust him. He also trusts me. I did this, I did that. He also trusts me. So it all built on trust. If you lose the trust in the whole thing, then you are getting the foundation wrong. Both of you need to learn to trust each other. Make the mindset that, look, we're doing this together. Whether good or bad, it shouldn't be one way. I'm here, I'm doing all the sacrifice. He should also do his efforts to be there and do all the sacrifice. I shouldn't be here doing all the calls. He shouldn't be there doing all the calls. It should be two people making conscious efforts to make it work, irrespective of whatever. So that is one thing that beginning we were facing, and then alongside we got it, and then we moved on with it.
So it's definitely communication and trust.
Yeah.
Right. That's really great examples. Right, Prince. How about yourself?
It's very true from what my sister said.
I mean, not to even cut you off. I'm excited because you guys are both on different paths, right? And you guys have two different stories. And amazing that Brother Prince is here. You had your wife back home, and God being so good, she's joined you, right? And you are here. You have your husband back home, and then God being so good, eventually he will join you. Definitely, that's the goal. So it's amazing. We get to hear both sides of this journey. So go ahead, Brother Prince.
Thank you. Like I said, my sister said it all, but I want to stress on one or two things. The core element of distance relationship, the sources of it is based on the word trust that my sister mentioned. The trust is so key to the sources of distance relationship because you don't know, you can't see, you can't trace where your partner is. But what you should have in mind is that, I'm in a relationship with someone who cares about me, who trusts me, whom I trust, and someone who has my issue at heart and will not do anything to hurt me. If you don't conscientize yourself this way and you go the other way around, that is where problems start coming in. For example, one time when my wife was back home, we had slight issue. And the issue wasn't something that if she were here, it would generate at all. It's summer, and you and I know it's very hot here. And I work in New York, I live in New Jersey. Sometimes my commuting time alone is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So we resorted to talking whilst I'm coming home. But unfortunately, now my car has no AC. I got my AC blown and I couldn't repair it within that week because it got spoiled on, I think, Tuesday. And I had to deal with it for the rest of the week until weekends I can repair it. So I told my wife, Oba, this is the situation. When I want to talk to you, I had to roll all my glasses. Now, when I do so, I'm burning. And when I bring it down, the wind comes in so hard that I can't hear you. So from today till weekend, when I'll have time to go and fix my AC, we can't be talking when I'm coming home from work. And this is simple thing I explained. But she goes like, oh, are you sure? The moment "are you sure" comes in, it means you've been held in doubt. You've been held in doubt. So you need to explain yourself to the point that the person will understand you. I don't blame her. I don't blame her because we are humans, and everyone wants to have his heart at peace. So they want to know exactly what is going on for them to be at peace. So I had to explain over and over and over until she came to understand what I'm saying. And if it happens like that, it becomes a responsibility for me to fix it immediately because it is creating issues. How long are you going to let it hang? So you have to double up and make sure whatever is causing these hitches in the marriage is fixed so that you get on a smooth path and roll on. So it's a lot of commitment.
It's amazing because I'm thinking about it right now, right? And like it's a simple issue, not even an issue, but it's a simple situation that can cause a big issue.
Exactly.
Sitting right here, I'm thinking, man, I'm seeing AC in Juma, and I'm saying, man, fixing in the week, no my friend, where yourself.
When you are outside the marriage, that's what you say.
That's right.
But when you are in it, you are bound to answer questions. You see, marriage, as we say, is a union. The Bible says, and the two shall leave their parent, come together as one body. So, irrespective of one living here, one living outside, in spirit, you see, the two of you are still together. So what affects one affects the other. So whenever she questioned me to that extent, I feel it because let's turn the table around. If I'm there and she's here, I might have asked the same question. So I also tend to understand certain things and why certain questions are asked. So knowing that, you always try to put things at the right positions whereby the why and the how and the why and the how don't come in frequently. You understand? You might take it on a lighter note when you are entering, but the rules of engaging someone in a distance is a lot. It's a whole school. It's a whole course that you have to learn and master it before you can be successful.
Amazing, ladies and gentlemen. So far we've learned three things: communication, trust, and patience,
Yes.
which is amazing. Getty, let me come to you. How are you when it comes to time, right? Because I remember I was asking you who sacrifices more. The reason I was asking you that was because of the time difference,
Yeah.
right? You being here, I'm not sure what time it is in Ghana, 5 hours, sometimes 4 hours. How do you manage your time and how do you communicate stuff like that with her? Because I'm sure there's somebody out there who is in a long distance relationship who doesn't, they don't know how to manage their time properly. But sometimes it becomes an issue. Maybe they communicate at 1 a.m. when the guys, stuff like that. How do you do it? How do you do it?
Yeah. So, because it's in a distance relationship, communication is a key. You can't go without it. For it to work, you need to communicate all the time. So, with a time difference, both parties have to come together. I'm not going to say it should be the one in abroad or it should be the one in Ghana because you don't know what he's also doing there. He's also working 24/7. You're also working. So with this whole time thing has to be two people coming together to make it work. Communicate and then know what time you're free, what time I'm free. Actually, with my husband and I, he can call me at any time. We don't have any time difference. We don't have, oh, I'm giving you this time, call 2 o'clock, call 1 o'clock. No. I don't, he doesn't have that time with me. He can call me at any time. But at every point in his schedule, when he's busy, he communicate with me. Babe, in the next 1 hour, I'll be going for a meeting. All right, when you are done, call me back. So I'll be there waiting for him to call me. He will also, he know I'm here now, and then he'll be like, when you are done, call me back. So immediately I'm done, I have to obey with it. I have to go with it. I have to call him back. So it's both people making efforts with time. Make time and make it work. It shouldn't be one person doing it. If it's one person, trust me, the relationship is good. Because if I'm here and I'm doing all the calls all the time, trust me, doing a long distance is very expensive. We are here is even cheaper because when I pay my internet bill for a month, I can talk to him unlimited the whole month, but he have to buy bundles, credits. Immediately you're talking to him, the whole thing is finished. He has to buy another one. So even with him over there, it's more expensive to even talk to me than with me here. But he's making efforts. So it's both people making efforts to make it work.
That's amazing. And I praise you and laugh, and I'm sure you can definitely relate to this.
Very much, very much. When it comes to communication,
Correct.
which is the center of everything about long distance relationship, I will applaud my wife when it comes to our relationship. I'm saying so because my wife used to call me more than I call her. And sometimes I feel like she's calling me too much. I once even mentioned it to her that
And I love
you
the
call me,
realness.
yeah, you call me too much.
Yes, definitely.
But I believe that, women are more attached. Trust me. So at every second, when especially she was working with Cocoa in Ghana, their department, there were a lot of girls, and girls when they're on break, this one will be hanging at the corner talking to the boyfriend, and those who even have boyfriends over there, they will be talking and stuff. When it comes to that point, she has no choice than to call me. So the calls were coming. She does more of it. I do the receiving. At a point, my job place, I work with some two Nigerians. Anytime my phone bells, it goes like, oh, Mary, because my wife is Mary, and they call Mary is calling. So I told her you call too much, but I believe it is her effort that really made things work out, because men, we don't take certain things too serious. Trust me. So sometimes She will call me, I'll miss the call. Instead of calling back, it won't go, and she'll call again. And that is when questions start coming in. Did you see my missed call? Why didn't you call back? You see? And I can put myself in her shoes. It's like you call someone, you miss the person saw it and never call you back. It's quote unquote. It's like your call is not important to the person. So she kept questioning me, and it has shaped me a little bit, because before then I wasn't a good communicator. Trust me, I wasn't. So now it has raised my attention to certain things and stuff. So it has gone beyond her. So now, even if anybody calls and I see it, immediately I have to return the call.
I love this is why I love the platform, right? I love it because we share stories and we're able to be real with ourselves and, like, you know what I'm saying, be honest. And I could definitely relate to it. Like, you know, it's just, you know, I have this ring on, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm a married man. But it took me a while for me to understand these things, right? And my wife will definitely call me her break time whenever she's going to work in the morning. I'm like, I just left the house. Like, give me some time to breathe, right? And we take, like, guys, we take certain things for granted. But I've gone to really, like, understand and accept that, right? That communication is important. That's what makes this relationship or marriage go. So definitely. So as everybody's giving shout out to your husband and wives, man, sweetie darling, I love you. Okay, thank you very much for the communication, which is amazing. Some of the challenges that you've gone through. Let me bring it talking about phone communication. Right, sometimes the little thing as reconnecting, because sometimes you're not able to spend money on voice revolutions all the time. Sometimes you reach out to WhatsApp and use your internet. Do you think, or have you ever been in a situation whereby WhatsApp has caused a misunderstanding or an argument before? Has it ever happened?
Trust me, several times. There is one time I remember I called my husband, Boss Revolution, and then another lady picked it up. And I'm like, hello, can I please speak to the owner of the phone? The person hung up. And I'm like, I called again, and this time around, that's my husband's voice. And I'm like, who picked the phone? And he was like, nobody. The phone is here.
Wow.
Who picked the phone? I spoke to a lady. Who picked the phone? Trust me, it took a lot for me to be very convinced that there was nobody there.
Yeah.
So trust me, with this whole internet thing, it can be a good servant and a bad master to you. It has caused a lot. Sometimes you'll be talking and all of a sudden it goes off. Maybe you are in the middle of something important you're discussing and you don't need any interactions. So as you're talking and the whole thing goes off, you have to start all over again. Sometimes you talk for a long and you'll be like, I didn't hear anything. Hello, man, say she. Once if you cut the baby in your one say,
You have to start all over again.
all over again. Come on, boss, I can't do this. I can't start all over again. So trust me, sometimes it does.
Wow, amazing. You have anything to add on to?
Yeah. In my case, my wife is someone, she doesn't like breaks in communication. So because of that, I realized she never called me with WhatsApp. She'll buy credit and call. And I'm like, when I send you something small, is that what you use it for? At the end of the day, everything goes back into credit. So I decided, okay, I will give you call allowance. So whenever I send something, there is a different package for only calls. So because of that, we didn't have much of those problems. But it has happened to me once. I called and a lady picked. But fortunately, the lady was speaking Spanish. So I knew it's the internet issue. It's not from the other end. So that one didn't raise any issue. But in terms of calling, my wife was calling from Ghana because it was cheaper then. Because when I was in a distance relationship, WhatsApp call wasn't as good as it is now. when it started, it wasn't good at all. Breaks, breaks, breaks. So we were not resort to it that much. Yeah.
I have a question for you. I'm not going to ask you this question because in the beginning you said you didn't want to go into that, so we'll definitely leave that. But then if you feel that you're going to change it, you can definitely chime in. Question: why did you decide to go into long distance relationship? Right. One may ask, have you been in it before? If you have, why did you go back again? You know what I'm saying? You could be back and say, now you as the man, right? Why
Exactly.
did you decide to go into long distance relationship in Ghana?
Okay. Thank you. Before, I didn't want to. It wasn't part of my plans to even look back to Ghana to get married until I realized when you travel to the diaspora, like in the United States, and you, first of all, I learned a lesson from a guy I was working with at the Newark airport when I came at first year. He's a Liberian. One day he called me and asked me, can you show me the picture of your girlfriend? And I said, I don't have one. He said, oh, why don't you have one? I told him a whole lot of stories about how my relationship ended before coming and stuff. Then he said, okay, let me advise you. If you want to get married, I will advise you marry from Africa. And for it to be good for you, marry from your country. So I asked him why. He said, I do two separate jobs here. But at the end of the paycheck, I don't go home with more than $200. Then I asked again, why? Then he said, when he came in at first, he was young, very, the youthful exuberance, going around until he got a Black American lady pregnant. And issues started back and forth, and she was placed on child support. His experience was that the same lady he had a child with has two other children with two different other African guys. So 3 men, 3 kids. Men are all from Africa because she knows that African men is a hard-working part. So they will definitely work and she'll get her portion. And at that time, she had gone for another man who is an American. And the guy don't work, the lady don't work. They are always on vacation because 3 men are working, and I think 40% of each of them's paycheck flow into her account. So she was on top of issues, partying, traveling around with the new guy she found. So I learned a lesson from it that why would I also jump into such a situation when a good friend, an African good friend, has told me such a story? So from then I decided, no, I'm not looking anywhere here. I'll go back. So that was my motivation. He really opened my eye, and I also listened to what he told me, and that's how come I changed my mind to go back home. Yeah. Yeah, let me add this. To talk of, did you go into and you went again? The answer is yes. Let me use this platform to educate the young ones who are yet to marry, especially if you have an idea of going back home. I know of late so many stories are trending on the internet telling you, don't do that, don't do that. I'm not here to tell you do that or don't do that. But what I can tell you is that know the person you are dealing with. In fact, a friend said it is only a fool who does not change his mind. When situation get to the point that you can't take it any longer, don't force yourself into that relationship, because at the end of the day, the things that you see will go beyond that when you get into marriage. That's why people prefer relationship more than marriage, because when you get married, That is where you see the true character of your partner. At first, I met a lady in Ghana. For the sake of privacy, I don't want to mention names. And we decided to get married. But I realized that there was a third party behind it. That person is giving her ideas, what she should do, what she should say, a whole lot, a pastor. And at the point, we had bought almost everything we need for the marriage ceremony. Then an issue came up. The lady came to me and said her pastor wants to talk to me. So I called the pastor, and the pastor was questioning me from all angles, including what job do you do, what is the level of your education, do you have green card, do you do this? So I realized she's probing into my privacy. So in a very polite way, we ended the conversation. Then later I told the lady, this whole thing is between the two of us. If you understand me and I understand you, that is what we need. We don't need any third person to come in to tell us what to do. So between you being married in Ghana or me filing fiancé visa for you to come to United States before we get married, it's your choice. Choose one, and I'm for any of them that you choose. But later, she made some consultations with the pastor and some people and came up to me that I have to get her wedded in Ghana. But thereafter, I have to file fiancé visa for her. Which, those who don't know, if you marry someone and you file a fiancé visa, it means that in 90 days, when the person gets to America, in 90 days, you have to marry the person. So if you marry the person in Ghana and you bring her through fiancé visa, definitely you are going to get her married again. So I asked myself, when this thing happens, the two marriages, which one would I consider the marriage, and when would I celebrate my anniversary? It becomes questionable. Two anniversaries, married. So I told her, my dear, I can't do that. So it's either you choose one of the choices you have on the table. And I realized she wasn't ready to make a choice. So that is how that relationship ended. So it ended on a peaceful note like that. She agreed, I agreed, we all walk away, and that is the end of it. But when I met my current wife through a friend, to give you details of it, I went to Ghana, I went to KNUST campus. I had a friend there. So my wife was a course mate of that friend of mine. So whilst we were walking, they were actually going for group studies, and I saw my wife in the midst of the people who were going to study. So, boys issues.
Senior man. Senior man.
Boys issues. I spoke with my friend. I said, no, I'm seeing something that goes beyond my imagination. So I talked to my friend. He said, okay, don't worry. I'll fix it somewhere.
That's right.
So gradually, I got to know my wife. Obaya, wherever you are, I give it to you. Because she made it in a different way. Someone who has been to one already and situations like this has happened will not want to try it again. But she made it look so different from the first one. So I said, okay, I think I'm seeing something far different from what I've experienced. I can't base on someone's action to judge the other. So let me give her also equal platform and see what will happen. And we thank God. We thank God. 2018, October 20th, we got wedded. And then by God's grace, 2020, March 2020, I was able to bring her here.
Wow.
Yeah, so now I live with my wife peacefully. And people say that when you bring women from Ghana, when you bring men from Ghana, they will come, they will leave you. Even before I initiated this journey to get married, I got tons of advice. My brother, there are so many girls here. Why are you going to Ghana? Why are you doing this? My advice is that I'm not saying it's all rosy. At the same time, I'm not saying it's that easy. But know who you are dealing with. The person's religious background must be ascertained. The person's history. If you meet a lady and through conversation, she has about 5 to 10 ex-boyfriends, you don't trust such a lady and jump into a distance relationship with them. If you meet a lady who has been, you know what I mean. I want to say, she's hopping around every corner you see her. She's not the type you have to go in for. Look for humble one. Although the humble ones can become proud, but it all depends on how you will deal with them. You will treat them. Every woman, they are all the same. All women are the same. The one that you think is good can be bad. The one you think she's bad can be good. It all depends on the treatment you give her. Many a times when we bring these ladies here, especially if we men, we bring the ladies here, we should have in mind that they are not our slaves. They are our partners. The same way if any woman like my sister bringing the husband in, she should be treated like the way you would treat her when the two of you are living in Ghana. You understand? It's not because I brought you. So any little thing, minimum command for what minimum say na beya. Exactly. Tuamisi kamame. So tuamisi kamame. Say court here. Let me say this also on record. Whenever you are courting, please, guys who are out there, take it from me. Say Otikrumha, if you live in America and you are courting someone in Ghana, TMU, na o send sika koma na, enya wadwen say we investment. 1, 2, say anko yi a uni refund. Say anko yi a uni refund. Fa show trim. Say o di show trim sa anko yi a hadwen. But so the show trim say me invest it. Investment will be up say a produce results. That's a results now ma. And what the one here? Oh yes. Enti say udisike ma obi eba anye unuaba. And I'm saying this on you nuaba ewo Ghana. Fa show trim say oh ya doye. A charity work. What I say, what devote to as a charitable organization, and you are helping someone. Say nyame boa na bemwa, good enough. But memwa, you don't have to fight because you should know these rules before you jump into it. Dodo na no betu sika na gumwa anko ya na ya asem na afi yenenam social media na ye senkrofo adwen na enware obi mfiri Ghana na obeye we say so unu obi kote o Ghana na se won say ni truster ensi ye because ebi kura wo friend no hye na so ni phone bom ba ko mienu one fenti no no adwen ye o say sise obi wo ho se wo hu sise obi wo ho enti obeba no na wo ko hin na me wo hye hin na me frɛ wa wo mfa o kasa akosoro so enya abotre no de saa to na hia wa ayentokwa afi asem ketwa mo betwe atwe na be anzo ko ba bi na mo ba bi na mo ko. So leave your partner on good grounds, not on grounds of suspicions, not on grounds of I don't trust you. If you know you don't trust the person, don't go that distance with the person. my brothers, it is difficult to make $1 in America. So if you think the person you are dealing with is not trustworthy, don't waste your time and your money on them.
Wow, amazing, amazing. I'll get you.
The little I can add to what my senior brother said is, before you want to go into a distance thing with somebody, make sure you individually are independent. Either the woman or the man. You, as a woman, make sure that, so if you are in Ghana or you are here, make sure that there are a lot of things you can do for yourself. You don't need a man to come and do this for you, to come and do this for you, to come and do. It's in case the person even is not here to do it, you can stand as a woman to do it for yourself. Just try as much as possible as a woman to be very independent financially, because on sisa cities or dollars mo and free Ghana and bro USA. You have to work. You have to be 100% very independent, and don't use, if you're a woman and you are in America and you are dating a man in Ghana, come on, the currencies are different. Don't use the money you have to intimidate a man. Forget it. If you are using the money you are making here to intimidate your husband or the man way back in Ghana, all because you are making more than he is, it's not going to work. Calm down as low as you are. Be supportive. Me, I don't really advise people, if you're in long distance relation, don't support your man, because you know the person you are getting married to, you know the person you're in a relationship to. Yeah, Kasanin Nan, we said that before you enter into it, know the person. If you know the person and you are putting in, whether your efforts, your money, anything, you know that this person that you see here of a show. So don't use your money, don't use your brofo to intimidate him. Don't feel say you are more of a high class, or you are in a position better than him.
Do you know who I am for?
Do you know who I am? I'm from America. I'm here. I'm here. Don't use that platform as a woman. Let's marry the African marry. We shouldn't come to America and marry American. This statement I even don't want to say, because see, where I work, I see these white people and how they treat their husbands. So because American marriage, I ask myself, is this the American marriage they are talking about? This woman is loving the as old as they are, or taking care of my husband as if said they have to start. So I don't even believe that American marriage, and I don't even believe that Africa. Love your husband, submit to him. See, there is nothing so good when you submit to a man and the man is loving you. I haven't experienced this kind of love. If you ask me why my husband, I'll choose him a million times. Because at the point I met this man, I have given up what love was all about. I was also from a very terrible relationship where I thought long distance is nothing. But this man surprised me. He said, it's now the moment I dream. I said, hey, it's a minute you say. What did I do? I submitted. I decided that, look, I'll come as low as possible. Because for my past relationship, I also learned my mistakes. I would say I was all perfect. I was also all around, hey, they do America, I want to make cash and share me. But when I met my husband, I was like, look, no matter where I am, forget it. Papa, so let me submit, let me calm down. And I was surprised what I had at the end of it. So as women, we should learn to, irrespective of where you are, learn to submit to your man. Whether you earn more than the man, learn to calm down. And then the man will trust me, or don't say.
Amazing. This is really good. It's such a great conversation, discussion. I appreciate you guys so much for being real and honest, right? Sometimes I believe that, especially in our Ghanaian society, or community, we fail to share what we've been through or what we're going through, or the journey that we are taking. So I appreciate you guys. I love this. Is one of the reasons why I believe in this platform. So thank you guys very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all learned a lot. If you haven't, yeah, maybe I've learned a lot. And I'm sure by their journey, what all the examples that they've shared, I'm sure you definitely, and I hope, yes, I hope you've definitely learned something from it. Listen, this is Presby Talk. This is why I love this platform, because we can be real, we can be honest, and we can definitely share a lot in advice. So again, my name is Fifi. This is Presby Talk. I want to thank them very much for coming and believing in this platform. Thank you very much. This is Presby Talk.